afternoon, everyone. Today I was supposed to present this proposal to certify legal AI assistance with Dr. Carl Branting. As many of you know, Carl passed away very unexpectedly 4 days ago on Thursday, July 18th. Carl was an incredible person with a deep and profound dedication to human rights, access to justice, and AI for good. His family is collecting a list of names and details of people who would like to be informed about his celebration of life in Virtual Memorial, and I would share this with you all after the presentation. Carl and I have been working for 5 months together on this proposal. Our article on this topic is soon to be published in Columbia's Science and Technology Law Review, and is currently available in draft form on SSRN, and I will also share a link to this after this presentation. Carl was very excited to share this proposal with you all and share many interesting conversations that inspired and intrigued him. Today, I will be doing an abridged version of our planned presentation and hopefully a longer Q&A to hear which parts of the proposal are most interesting to each of you, which is what Carl really wanted to hear. So, there's an ongoing problem of how to best reconcile unauthorized practice of law and UPL restrictions with legal AI use by unrepresented litigants. And our proposal is ultimately to improve the global access to justice crisis. We propose a harmonized global proposal designing a local implementation where practice of law regulating authorities add certified legal AI assistance to their list of UPL exemptions using a capability-based certification framework. Now, I know that's a lot, and that's a mouthful. There's a lot of terms in there, and I'm going to try and break it down. So, this is a draft list of UPL exemptions list, and this is actually taken from the actual list in Saskatchewan that they have for UPL exemptions, and it revised slightly, obviously, but and so what it reads, obviously, the exemptions from prohibition against the unauthorized practice of law, and then the following are exempt from the prohibition of UPL. And we want to add certified legal AI assistance for unrepresented litigants to this list. And it's common for other things on this list to include court staff that are helping unrepresented litigants fill out a legal form or something like this could also be on this list depending on the jurisdiction or the practice of law regulating authority. And the practice of law regulating authority is a term we came up with because this is a global proposal, and we went over probably 45 plus jurisdictions, but ultimately narrowed down to 13 that we analyzed deeply, which will be included in the law review article. But what we found was that the practice of law regulating authority, there were sometimes multiple, but they're typically the Bar Association or the Law Society, and that is what we're referring to when we use this term. And next slide, please. So we're proposing that the certification process be capability-based certification, and this would be focusing on accuracy of the legal AI assistance by establishing an accuracy standard, and that would also be the evaluation criterion. And so I'm just going to break down the certification process. So the accuracy standard would be based on any legal task, which is required. So it's each legal task requires or has a certain capability that is completed. So the capability itself would be what would be certified. And so in order to establish the accuracy standard, it's there would be we would need a benchmark data set, evaluation criterion under the benchmark, which would be accuracy, and there's it would depend on what the task is. for deciding what the evaluation criterion would be. And then there would be an acceptability threshold for the criterion, and that would ultimately be decided by the practice law regulating authority of how high or low, what the tolerable threshold for the certification would be for that capability. And maybe in the legal domain that the capability buckets. And so our proposal is that to be certified as exempt from UPL, a capability for a task and satisfy that acceptability threshold. And there is a lot going on in this proposal. There's so many things that get brought up, and a lot of it is covered in the article that Carl and I are publishing together. And at this point, I would like to switch it over to Q&A and to hear what everyone is like most interested in regarding this proposal. And that is what Carl wanted to hear what each and every one of them thought about this. And yeah, so please ask the top questions. Yeah.
Is there any system out there that would pass this test of accuracy? Proposed test.
It's so interesting. So that is we're saying like that is interesting. So we're not proposing that it needs to be 100% accuracy. That's not the criterion. There's actually, Kat, if you can go to it's gonna be quite far down.
Yep.
I'll tell you where to stop.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
That's it.
that's
it.
oh
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. So this slide shows more, so the accuracy measures that would be used based on the AI task and the legal example. So if you're trying to measure prediction and that like the task is excuse me, I'm looking at this one. So if the AI task is prediction and then the legal example is likelihood of success at trial, then you're going to be using like an F measure or MCC. I think that but that's what the accuracy measure would be. But then the acceptability threshold would be decided by the practice law regulating authorities. So that would be Law Society, Bar Association, or as we propose, it would be a like a delegated like third party of professionals who actually, so it would almost be like self-regulation plus. So like report self-regulation, but like with reporting requirements, which is very similar to how the UAI Act currently functions. Like that's how that the UAI Act is currently designed with the high-risk system. That is self-regulation plus. That's how I think about it. But yeah, I hope that.
So would you expect the standard to be above and below or at average human lawyer?
Amazing question. I always think about this because it's like, oh, we have the bar exam and like that's an acceptability threshold. We think about, oh, okay, well the average law student should take the bar exam, and what are they getting, and what is the acceptability threshold of all of these bar societies already and practice law regulating authorities already. And I think that's something that really should be considered, and that's something we talk about in our yeah.
There is actually a question in Zoom, so that was raised before. Amy, you had raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you so much for that presentation. I look forward to reading the piece. Apologies if I missed this somewhere. I was wondering what other, if any, indicia the certification will be looking at. So to give some context, I work on the Legal Innovation Sandbox in Ontario, Canada. And sometimes one thing I find of interest is how some of these providers purport to use data that they collect, whether or not to generate more money or just for other uses. And then another kind of thing often to look at is liability provisions. So I guess in Canada, all of our lawyers are insured. I know it's different everywhere, but you can have private companies that have pretty punishing liability regimes for consumers, or even, have the consumer have terms of service where they're agreeing to pay damages if something goes wrong to third parties and things like that. So Are those baked into the certification, or is it just merely looking at accuracy?
Thank you so much for that question. I will very likely reach out to you. I can put it in that last slide. I just think that will be helpful for context. But there were two things there. One of them is so there's like the risk-based approaches to the AI regulation, and then there's also sort of our proposal is this is in addition to the our proposals in it, the accuracy, our proposal is in addition to the AI assurance standard. So this is all like it's on top of that, or however you want to think about it, but it's like those are all like still baked in. Oh, I think that's how you had said it too. But it's assuming that that's already like the standard already, and then this is just really a focus on accuracy because that is what the practice law regulating authorities and what the purpose of the stated purpose of UPL is. And so, so this is what the goal of at least this proposal is to propose the best and most realistic approach to having both the UPL protections, but also accurate systems that for underrepresented litigants.